Hi, and welcome to the Unknown Secrets of SEO podcast, podcast number 37.
All right, welcome back for another fun-filled edition of our SEO podcast.
My name is Chris Burris. I'm owner of eWebStyle.
And I'm Paul Hansen, the sales manager at eWebStyle.
Paul, I got to ask you, do you notice anything different about this podcast?
Other than the fact that there's a camera in my face.
Oh, yeah, there's a camera. We got a new mic.
We do have a new mic.
A new camera.
That's a very cool mic, too. That's a very cool mic. So we're stepping up in the technology world.
Absolutely. So this is our first live. We weren't even planning on doing this. We're like, okay, the technology is in place. Let's just go for it. Let's make it happen.
And we
boom. There you guys are. So for those of you who are just listening to this podcast, it'll probably be posted a couple weeks from now. So while you're listening to it, there is no video. But you can catch the next podcast because we are going to live stream all of the recordings of our podcasts at Ustream on our channel there each and every Friday.
I can't help but keep looking at this at the window with us on it.
You're supposed to glance at that. You'll be a professional after.
Because I'm used to looking at the monitor.
Right.
And now I got to look at
look right there
at the camera screen. So, yes, all of the podcasts from this point forward, you can catch us at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. 9 a.m. Central Standard Time here in the U.S. All of our podcasts will be streaming live on Ustream. And you can find the link on Twitter.
Yes. Yeah, in fact, we just tweeted that. So speaking of Twitter, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at twitter.com/eWebStyle, and that is EWEBSTYLE. You can also find us on Facebook. We do have a Facebook page. You can follow us. We haven't put any promotions there yet, but we are going to be putting promotions on Facebook. The easiest way to get to Facebook is to go to e-webstyle.com/Facebook, and that'll automatically forward you over to the Facebook page.
To our Facebook page.
And there you can become, is it a fan? Is it a groupie? Is it a stalker?
I'll take a groupie. I like
groupie. Okay.
Hey, so, be our Facebook groupie.
Be our Facebook groupie. We need
I've
more.
never heard that before.
we need more. Isn't it like an SEO groupie?
Yeah. We need an SEO groupie. Someone that follows us around. Sets up our style sheets for us. Do the little things that we don't want to do ourselves. I need some keyword research done. Groupie, get on that.
Groupie, make it happen. A little bit about what we did last time. Last time we had with us in the podcast, we had Chuck, also known as Mo Serious, also known as the Poetic Prophet, also known as Charles.
Also known as the SEOrapper.com.
So you can find him at the SEOrapper.com. We're actually, he's a rapper who raps about SEO.
Yeah, and it's actually good. It's really good.
Really good. In fact, these are the lyrics here. This is what we're going to cover today in terms of technical information. But before we get started, we actually want to go and talk just briefly about what we talked about last time. We did interview Chuck. It was a really good interview, and Chuck gave us 2 secrets. Remember
He gave us 2 secrets that I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, we're not going to give them to you. One of them is regarding Google Alerts.
It's a Google product
called Alerts. But he didn't say how to use it. We're not giving the secret away. So go back and listen to the last podcast and find the value of Google Alerts. He also gave a secret about why should you be doing social media? And it has to do with you getting found. And so go back and listen to that last podcast. It's a really good podcast. That's podcast 36.
Yeah, that was good stuff. And he actually, we need to get his new video because he did a new video on social media a week ago. And we need to get that and get those.
Quit looking at the camera.
I can't help it. I'm like, there I am right there.
All right, we'll just adjust that so he can't see it.
Okay.
Then he won't get all distracted. That's where you focus.
All right.
Focus.
What's our news topic for today?
All right, so we got a little bit of news. It is Halloween coming up.
Okay.
Right.
In the news.
So I wanted to talk. Well, it's not really news, right? Yeah.
That song used to always come on when Halloween came.
That's true. That is true.
I haven't really heard it this year.
So I found some a geeky Halloween costume that it's pretty and it reminded me of one that I did a number of years ago. So we'll cover that too. It's actually pretty cool. So what he did is this guy cut out a hole in a shirt. He hung an LCD in the
Screen?
hole of the shirt.
Okay.
And he took a camera shooting out the back of his back. So he's showing
So you could see
through him.
Oh, that was pretty live. That's very. There's an iPhone application for that.
Well, there was another geeky Halloween costume, which was just a big box.
Uh-huh.
And then apparently iPhone has an app called iPhone Mouth or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so he stuck the iPhone with the mouth there. And I think as it hears voices, it starts moving or something. It's not as good as the Baby Shaker app.
That's
No.
pretty cool, though. I saw an iPhone app that's where you can text. It turns your camera. The camera's on the back of your phone. So while you're texting, your camera turns on, so you can see what's behind you, and it displays it on your screen.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like your screen is clear, and you can text and email while driving.
Hey, that's always good. We need more apps that allow you to text and email while you're driving.
I thought it was a great idea, but it was for people. If you're going to walk your dog or something, you need to send an email or text. You can text and actually see what's.
So it's kind of like a heads-up display for walkers.
Yeah, everyone has texted and walked. I have texted and walked into a wall or tripped over something while I'm texting somebody. I don't text in the car anymore at all. Almost hit somebody.
When you say everyone's hit a wall while texting,
I mean everyone.
I've gotta say
everyone, not just me. Not just me. You can't leave me hanging out to dry here.
I haven't actually run into anything.
I do. I'll be focused on my texts.
It's like Shakespeare when you're texting. You got to really focus on that.
Et tu, Brute?
And reading about those geeky costumes reminded me. One year I just went to a box store and got a couple of boxes. So I had big boxes. My arms were sticking out the sides, and I had a little kind of round thing that was the Intel camera on top.
Yeah.
And then I had this Velcroed window screen. It was the blue screen of death.
Oh,
Except I had changed the text. All other operating systems are good. This operating system actually sucks. And I actually won. We were supposed to have a contest, and there was drinking, and then we never got around to the contest, and then I was one of the two remaining, and the host actually told me I would have won if they had actually awarded any sort of prize.
You would have won, but the other chick was hot. And she wore the typical Catwoman outfit, so I had to give it to her.
You can't compete with that.
Yeah, I know.
No, there's no competition there. The other thing I wanted to cover is, the San Francisco Bay Bridge is closed still.
Yeah, you just told me that this morning.
Yeah, apparently chunks of the bridge fell down onto the actual lanes of the bridge. So they decided to close the, hey, we could just drive around it.
So if you live on the other side of the bridge, you scuba dive your way to work? I'm not very familiar with that area, so I'm like, I didn't know there was another way to get over there.
I always wanted to visit San Francisco. You're right, though. Are they taking... There has to be another bridge now. Like, that was their first bridge and it was a big deal. And then they built 4 others that didn't mean squat.
I know there's a bridge to Oakland, but I don't know where the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge...
Go all the way around?
I don't know.
Somebody from San Francisco...
Somebody from Oakland, help us out. Or San Francisco, help us out.
Send us an email.
And we know that there are some of you there, because this map right here tells us where you are. This map tells us where you are. So where's San Francisco?
Yeah, that's
Somewhere.
a map. This is, by the way, this odd map that Paul's holding up is the map of where people have listened to our podcast. And you'll notice Australia, New Zealand, Eastern areas.
Eastern, wherever that is.
Europe. So
and us.
We've got listeners all around the world. Thanks to all you listeners. Hopefully in about 3 weeks, you'll start watching us also, because that's about the time that you'll hear the first podcast that tells you that you can actually watch us on the video.
This podcast is for all of my brothers and sisters, because they're the only ones that know that this sucker is actually live. So,
hi, Hansons.
Hey, everybody.
So that's it. That's Bay Bridge broken. Oh, yes, please send us an email. You can get in contact with us via email at podcast@e-webstyle.com. Everyone, when they're talking, webstyle.com.
And unless you are selling SEO services, you can email us. If you are, don't email us SEO, because I still get emails about that every so often. Hey, we can help you with your SEO. Like, shut up, dude.
That's kind of what we do.
Did you listen to the podcast? Okay, maybe, all right, there. I'll get off that soapbox.
Yeah. You know what? I bet it's probably people trying to outsource and hoping that we would outsource our work.
Outsource our work. Not today.
Yeah, not gonna happen. All right, so we were supposed to have Charles here today, and I had worked up. I told you I had worked up.
You did
this
tell me you had a good intro.
Brilliant intro, and it's not. I'm disappointed.
No umph without. Why you can't perform it for me? I'm not.
You're not the SEO rapper.
I can rap.
You're not a social media master.
Your site design, the first thing people see. There you go. That's my SEO rap right there.
Turn off the mic. So hopefully he'll be here with us next time. It's actually his suggestion that we do this Ustream. So, man, big props to Charles for shooting
and
us
that
in
was
this direction.
7 days ago. It was like, hey, how about we do a video?
And he was like, you guys should, we should do this live on Ustream. They're like, Ustream? What's Ustream? Have you heard of Ustream? I haven't heard of Ustream.
I heard of Ustream 7 days ago.
Boom, here we are.
Chuck was here and he said we should do it, and here we are a week later.
Of course, at the time we played it off like, oh yeah, Ustream. We've been thinking about getting on Ustream for a long time.
Yeah, I'm like, what's Ustream?
Use Google to figure out what Ustream is. All right, so Charles isn't going to be able to be here, unfortunately. Hopefully, hey, maybe he's watching because we did tweet him just before we started this broadcast. So hopefully he's watching. Shout out, Chuck. Thanks for the idea. It's a great idea. And so we're going to go over his design coding. We're going to kind of go over the lyrics and go over, first off, the lyrics are awesome.
I think they're phenomenal. I really do. It makes sense. It's a cool rap, it's a cool song, nice beat, but it actually makes sense.
And it's got a good flow. It's just impressively done. Anyway, this one is called Design and Code or Design Coding?
Design Coding.
Design Coding.
But I think it instead of design and coding, he just did design coding because it sounds better.
Yeah, design coding certainly works. Yeah. All right. So you want to rap for us the first line? Or
I don't even want to do this. I wouldn't even do this justice, but I'll read it. So we're gonna go over the lyrics to this video and we'll break it down.
So you're probably wondering, why are we gonna go over the lyrics? Well, that's exactly how powerful these lyrics are. They're worth going over because if you just follow what Most Serious Chuck Charles says in his lyrics, you can actually get on the first page of Google. So we figured, let's go through this. We'll go point by point. We can kind of explain it a little better, maybe bring in some examples, real world examples that we've had, implementing the same kind of thing. So without further ado, go Charles. Paul.
All right, I'm gonna go over the first, I'd say about 8 bars of this, the first paragraph or whatever.
By the way, you can find this video at theseorapper.com. So
yes,
go check it out.
Find it there, and we gotta get him to do us one.
Yeah,
I like that stuff. All right, we gotta get him to do the same video, or we can just superimpose our logo on his shirt or something.
And then in the middle of the rap, E-Web style.
Okay, I'm just reading this. Is the first part he's kind of talking. It says, the design of your site and the coding of your site and the key components to how your site's optimized and the conversion you get. Design and code it right. Get it working for you. Check it out. Your site design, the first thing people see, it should be reflective of you and the industry.
And that's something we talk about here at eWebStyle all the time. Is like, what can we do for you? A customer calls and we say, look, what we do is we build a website that represents the same quality and care that you put into your clients. So when your clients visit your website, you have this, they get that sense and feeling of how they're going to be treated by your company.
Oh, and the one thing, I see this all the time, is people who build their sites themselves forget that this website should be reflective of my industry. If you're in a printer or you do a lot of graphics, it should be very graphic. If you're an attorney, it should be more professional. But people who like homemade sites, people forget that, and the reason I bring it up is because I've run into a lot of people lately. Like, oh, we're just going to build a site ourselves. I'm like,
and then often, they just kind of put their total personal taste into it.
Yeah.
With that, this is something you learn early on in when you're studying rhetorical analysis and literature and whatever. So you need to, whenever you're writing something, you need to keep in mind what your target audience is. And so people who are doing it on their own, they're so wrapped up in the technology or wow, we're doing cool graphics that they actually forget that they're going after a target market, and
Yeah.
they need to address that target market.
Yeah. So the site design is the first thing people see. It should be reflective of you and the industry. First bar. Easy to look at with nice navigation. When they can't find what they want, it causes frustration. A click causes an action to increase the temptation. Use appealing graphics that create motivation. If you have animation, please use in moderation because search engines can't index the information. Okay, that's the first paragraph. So you obviously know it should be create your site to reflect your industry. It should be easy to look at. You need to have nice navigation. It needs to be consistent. I talk about this all the time in my analyses.
Analysis. Yeah, well, you can get a free analysis if you go to our website, e-webstyle.com, and then on the upper right in the navigation bar, which is easy, you can see SEO. If you click there, you can either call us and we'll get that free analysis started for you. It is a no obligation free analysis. Don't worry, we're not going to hound you for too long. And then you can also scroll down just a little bit not even scroll down, but a little bit farther on that page below the phone number. You can actually see there's a link where you can actually just fill out a form on our website and get that free analysis. And that's one of the things I was going to say. Navigation is one of the 6 points, isn't it?
That's one of the 6 points. And I still run into sites that their navigation is not consistent. You don't see that same group of links, home, services, products, about us, whatever it is. It's got to be consistent through every page. I saw it last week. I clicked on a guy's site and it was like 3 more bars popped up, and I'm like, whoa, where'd those come from? Those aren't on the home page. So if they can't find what they want, it causes frustration. A click causes an action to increase the temptation. Use appealing graphics that create motivation. Calls to action.
We talk about that all the time.
We talk about that.
We only need the first paragraph here.
There we go.
The rest we don't even need the rest of the rap. Calls to action. You know, that kind of goes back to, we've actually coined a phrase, and you'll only find this from us. It's called SEO. So we're SEO experts. We're world-class SEO experts. We're world-class SEM. SEO, by the way, stands for Search Engine Optimization. SEN, Search Engine Marketing. And SEVO, we say, is Search Engine Visitor Optimization. Because, you know, there's one aspect of our business, of our line of work, which is to get traffic to your website. That's really important. But if you get them to your website and they don't do anything, there's no calls to actions, there's nothing to motivate them and cause them to interact with you, either giving you their email information or calling you or filling out a form for a free SEO analysis. If none of that's going on, then they're just kind of visiting, and you're not really going to be able to convert them.
I mean, 1 million visitors a day is good for nothing. I mean, nothing other than convincing someone to advertise on your site. But
right.
If they don't take action, you know, if they don't pick up the phone and call you or buy something from your site, you know, you can get 1 million, 10 million visitors a day, but that's not really good for anything. So calls to action, you got to have a call to action. And I tell people all the time in my analysis, every call, you need one on every page. Every call to action, the one on every page doesn't have to say, call us today at blah, 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 blah. I mean, that gets old after a while. It can be something as simple as click to view my brochure, or look at my portfolio, or fill out this free form here. And I'll tell people often, what you want to do, the goal is you want to take your visitor down a path that you set for them. They get to your homepage, they read the information, your call to action takes them to the next page. They read the information, your call to action takes them to the next page, which might be to products. They read it, they want to add, your call to action on your product page needs to be so enticing that they add it to your shopping cart. At that point, you want them to check out. So not everyone's going to follow this path, but you want to create a flow to get them to where you want them to be, which should either be filling out a form, buying something, picking up the phone and calling, or whatever your goal is for each visitor. So, all right.
Calls to action. Make them do something.
You have animation. Please use in moderation because search engines can't index the information. I say this. We've been beaten.
Yeah, we've got probably it's mentioned in a whole lot of podcasts. By the way, if you haven't heard all of our podcasts, go back and listen to them. There's a wealth of information. There's some great examples. We've actually gone through specific analysis of websites that you can pull up the websites. You can look at what we were looking at and what we're doing and what we're planning on doing. So we always talk about graphics, you know, and I always kind of go to the extreme and say, look, you want to have animation, but you don't want to have seizure-causing animation, right? You know, you don't need anything flashing that's going to put somebody in an epileptic seizure. That's not what you're going for. It needs to. We always say we put enough.
I'm thinking about that seizure thing I told you about that last week. I'm sorry.
Which one was that?
We'll tell you guys later. It's the guys who hacked the National Epilepsy Foundation.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
That's just wrong. And we're laughing at it, and it's wrong.
So some guys hacked some national epileptic website and put
a bunch of flash animations on their server and popped up on all their screens, and that was just wrong.
What not to do.
That's it's creative. It's very creative, but
that's just bad. So we always talk about, we always want to have motion on our websites because we like to say that our websites breathe. And again, you don't want it to be distracting, but you know, if it's just, look, this is a medium that we're working in that isn't like this, and I'm holding up the map here. It isn't like a static piece of paper. So if we can put a little bit of motion, you know, if this were the page that we wanted to display, and for those out there, I'm looking at a map and it's got some, on the podcast who can't see, I'm looking at a map and it's got orange indicators of where people have listened to our podcast from. You know, if we were just going to display this, we actually might want to, you know, have one of them expand and then shrink down, and one of them expand and shrink down. So it's not going to be distracting, but it is going to be dynamic, and it's going to keep them engaged for, you know, a few more seconds. Remember, you've got about 10 seconds to impress somebody on a website before they're going to leave, and you don't want them to leave. So to make the most of it, and animation really does help with that.
Yeah.
But having said all of that, don't overdo it. We don't agree with splash pages at all. Actually, CNN's got a new view, and I point to CNN because that's where we get our news, one of the places. And they redid their website, and they did an opening animation. It was kind of cool. It was an opening animation of a curtain kind of opening up, like, here's our new website.
Yeah.
But I only noticed it on the second computer I went to, because I think they only do it once.
Oh, and that's another thing. If you just have to use a splash page, there's some kind of coding you can put in it where it only shows a cookie, where it only shows once.
Yep.
So if I go on that page the first time on that computer, it shows it to me. If I go back on that same computer, it doesn't show it to me. Do that. If you just have to have a splash page. And there are people who like them.
And also, you know, there's a lot of value in the index page, if you will, the first page of your website. Google can give that a lot of value. So don't, even if you're going to do a splash, make sure it's actually a flash that's on top of your page, right? So that when it goes away, then the text is there. I wouldn't even recommend that, because we just don't recommend splash pages. You know,
pointless.
Don't.
I mean, to me, it's just pointless.
The only kind of page that you might think would be valuable is a really artistic page, right?
Okay, yeah.
But even then, you've got to, you know, what's your goal? Is your goal just to send potential clients there by a business card or by a phone call or by some advertisement somewhere, and then they go there? Or is your goal to actually take that website and start using it to passively generate ROI, generate visitors and traffic and customers? And if it's the former, great, you can do whatever you want with it. It's just another kind of brochure type medium. If it's something that you want to actively create customers with, then you know you need to be mindful of what are the search engines interested. And that's the point that Charles is making here, is that if you've got too much graphics, if you've got too much animation, then there's no text. And Google doesn't know the difference between a picture of a pregnant woman and a picture of a Ferrari. It doesn't know the difference. So, you know, you can have all these great pictures, and actually there's a guy I met who's a photographer, has a phenomenal website, and it's all Flash. And I just told him, look, your entirely Flash website is beautiful and will get you absolutely no traffic.
And if you're going to use Flash, make sure you can have an HTML version of it.
Yep.
Because I bumped into a guy the other day, same thing, and I was like, you know, that can't be indexed. He was like, actually, we have an HTML version of it. I'm like, okay, that's a smart idea. If no one ever sees that, that's fine, but the search engine has to see that. Has to see the HTML. Who cares about the Flash?
Well, and understand that if they do search for it and it does come up in the search results, it's the HTML pages that do come up, and Google will link to those HTML pages. They're not going to link to the Flash. So also be mindful, because maybe you make your Flash one-dimensional, one-directional, if you will. So people come in and they see a splash page and then they go to a products page or whatever. And if you're bringing them in on HTML, then when they go back into the Flash, do they have to start over from scratch? Because that would be very frustrating. That's one of the things I don't like about Flash pages is sometimes, if you want to go back, you end up resetting the whole Flash presentation or the whole Flash interface. Now, that's probably bad programming of the Flash tool, poor utilization of the Flash tool. But just be mindful of again, that goes back to navigation.
Yeah,
we haven't even got off the first paragraph yet.
Well, we just finished the first one.
Verse, maybe
first
it's not
verse,
a paragraph, it's a verse.
There we go, the first verse. All right, I'll go over the next couple lines. It says, display the logo of all associations, highlight your content, therefore that's an obligation. Create clear design, you use some decoration, but try to prevent any client hesitation. So if you're a member of the Better Business Bureau, if you're a member of the European and National Association for Auto Dealers or whatever, the California Catering Association, you need to put that on your website.
And that goes to credibility.
Yeah,
right?
It makes people feel comfortable. And here's another thing. People use I'm gonna use a Better Business Bureau. People like to use that logo a lot in print advertising because they don't necessarily need permission. You can't really use that logo. To my understanding, you can't get that logo without their permission. Oh wait, people can just copy it, I guess. But to get it on a website, it's not as easy to steal that because you have to have their permission to use it. And to my understanding, I think that if you copy it off someone else's website, it doesn't copy correctly or whatever. So that adds.
Do you know what you're talking about? I'm just asking.
No.
Okay.
Well, no, because one time, if you try to copy like Yahoo's logo, you can't exactly copy it. It'll come up differently in Photoshop. And this is what I was told in Better Business Bureau. If you copy their logo, it'll come up like black. I haven't tried that. So maybe not.
We'll ask our graphic designer.
That's just happened to me because I happened to me when I tried to copy a Yahoo logo. The whole thing came up black, and I was like, that sucks.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was, and Javier was like, yeah, it's done so people don't copy it.
Interesting.
So you
already have asked the graphic designer. So
yeah, well, for that one, I haven't tried for Better Business Bureau.
So this is the area that I don't know.
Yeah, it happened to me on Yahoo, and it happened to me on Bing. This is when I tried to copy their logo directly from the search engine. It comes up a little differently, so people can't copy it, but you can still find it. So use your logos, highlight your content. It's an obligation. You have to do that. Use clean design. You can use some decoration, flash, and all that stuff, but some. And you want to try to prevent any hesitation. You don't want any decoration to distract someone from your content
or deter.
From especially from your calls to action.
That would be like if it caused a seizure. That would be a deterrent to further progression through your website.
Exactly. Okay. Every page that they click should provide an explanation. Should be easy to understand, like having a conversation. Create a site style that you can use your imagination, but make sure you use correct color combinations.
That's a good flow. What he's talking about here, and we talked about that, should be easy to understand, like having a conversation. We talked about this in the last couple of podcasts, and I don't remember exactly where I read this, and I think it's incredibly salient, which is, it's not about the information that you're going to show, it's about how you show the information, right?
Yeah, not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly. So that's exactly right. So, so for...
I've had women tell me that in relationships. That's not what you say, it's how you say it. I'm sorry. I hope any woman I've ever dated is not listening to this.
Don't worry, your family can pass the information on to her. So we talk a lot about bullet points here, right? We've got a good combination here at the office because I like to read. If you have tons of information on your website, I will read every word if I'm interested in your product.
I can't read, so I'm not going to read it. That's just me, I'm going to look for a bullet point, and I still can't read it, but I'm still going to look for a bullet point.
You're doing pretty good for not being able to read.
Yeah, hooked on phonics. I'm getting there.
And our graphic artist here, he's totally, as you'd expect, totally visual. If it's more than a half a paragraph, he won't read it. So we're always talking about how do you present the information, and you present the information in bullet points and then with lots of extras, lots of details to follow up on those bullet points. So if somebody comes to your website, or a particular page on your website, you've got 10 seconds to grab their attention. Boom, you've got 5 points. Boom, the top 5 points why you should use eWebStyle for your SEO.
Yeah.
Boom. There's no question. You don't have to like hunt around. You're not, and if you want to know about our history, you want to know about what we do, you want to know about our expertise, you want to know about our podcast, whatever it is, it's all on that information. It's all that information is on the page, but those bullet points really hit home.
Yeah.
So it is about making it easy, a conversation.
Make it easy for people to understand.
Yep.
All right, next, but make sure you use color. Oh, I've already done that.
Good color combinations. That's a good one too, because that's what we bump into when people make their own websites.
Yeah.
Or you get your uncle's brother's cousin to make the website for you, and like, okay, so maybe he's a programmer, and programmers, including myself, can make web pages. And that's the last thing you want.
Yeah, and not to knock, I've seen some people who made their own websites, and they were actually really good. And I thought about it, I said, hey, I'd do business with this. And if you're going to create your own website, which I typically don't recommend, because I don't recommend you cut your own hair. I don't recommend you do your own dental work or do your own auto work. Trust a professional. Think about it and say, would you do business with this website? Show it to your friends and family and say, be honest. Would you do business with this? If they say no, you need to scratch it and get someone to do it. All right, so make sure you use color combinations. Do some investigation. Look at other organizations, but don't duplicate. You might face a litigation. You're done. Congratulations. Start construction. That line should probably be over here. But duplication. Do we talk?
Now this is actually brings up a point that we haven't even talked about, which is duplication litigation, right? So if you end up duplicating somebody's content, you can actually face litigation. Yes. Remember, it's plagiarism. It's not yours. It's copyrighted material. And you don't have a right to use it, so you shouldn't go out there copying it and using it.
Now, let's talk about this week.
We're almost done, so make this last point, and we're about finished.
We found someone.
Oh yeah.
That I'm not gonna say who. We were looking for unknown secrets of SEO, and we found someone that.
You think they could figure it out?
Who that?
If they searched unknown secrets of SEO, they could probably figure out who it is.
They duplicated, and I'm doing that with air quotes. They duplicated our content, and I mean like
just our titles, all of our titles, and no links back to us. It's just
everything, and I'm like, come on, man! Like you can't just. Why don't you just put my name on the top of your test paper? I mean, you just stole everything. Like, so don't do it. We contacted them. We talked to them. They're going to change it, blah, blah, blah. But
there won't be any litigation there. But that's the concern. You don't want to just duplicate content. And two reasons. One, litigation, and because it's wrong, flat out. And the other is because Google doesn't like duplicate content. And we've talked about that in a number of our podcasts. Whatever you do, if you sell a product and you're copying the descriptions of the product from the manufacturer of the product, make sure you rewrite it. Otherwise, Google isn't going to care that you even have that information, because Google's going to say it's duplicate content. Here's the original owner of it. And if anybody's looking for anything in that content, I'm going to show them. I'm not going to show you, the new guy who copied content. So
exactly. So if you're the second person to display that same information, you get screwed.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is the end of podcast number 37 and our first
video
cast Ustream.
So thanks for all the viewers,
Thank
Mom
you,
and Dad.
Hansons. Thanks for joining us.
Everybody, Luis is here. What's up, Luis?
Yeah. Until the next podcast, it's going to be another great one. I think Charles is going to join us for that one.
And all you people that are here, that are on this piece of paper that I'm showing the camera, thank you for listening. We appreciate you guys tuning in from all over the world. We appreciate it. Keep the emails coming.
Yep, podcast at e-webstyle.com.
Get your stalk on.
At twitter.com/ewebstyle. And you can go to ewebstyle.com/Facebook, and that'll get you to our Facebook page. Until next...
SEO process. The video the PowerPoint presentation we talked about last week is up. We're going to put it on Twitter?
I'll tweet it. You can find it at e-webstyle.com/SEO process. We don't have it linked into anything yet. We will do that shortly.
It's about a 15-minute video that explains SEO very quickly. So if you're just new listening to this, watch it. It's about 19 slides. It says, hey, this is what SEO is. This is what it isn't. This is how it can help your business. So go watch it. It's cool. It took me a while to put it together, but Watch it. Take a look. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, if you're not getting enough of Paul's voice on our podcast and now our Ustream videocast,
My melodious voice is on that.
no, you did a good job.
Is
Good
on
job.
that PowerPoint presentation. So check it out.
All right, guys, until next time, this is the end of podcast 37. My name is Chris Burris.
And this is Paul Hansen.
Bye-bye for now.